Cam Schlittler, the first in Major League postseason history with 8 scoreless innings pitched, a dozen Ks, and not a single walk. That's among all pitchers, not just rookies. The first ever to do that in a game. And we welcome in the fellas in the booth. Karl, Eduardo, David, Scott Van Pelt here in the nation's capital. And Ravi, let me just start with you. If you were to have hazarded a guess of what his line might look like tonight, given the fact that he's from Mass, the dad's a chief of police in Needham and all this, and all that he's carrying with him to the mound, would this have been in play a night like this?
No. Needham, by the way, my hometown, but no, I would not have thought that. I mean, I think you go into these guys with a couple of rookies, a 24-year-old, 5 innings, turn it over to the bullpen, 4 or 5 strikeouts. But, pre-game we sit there with Aaron Boone. He used the words like stud, great stuff, confidence. The one thing about the 2 guys that were on the mound tonight, the military background of the Early family, and he went to West Point. You mentioned the police chief in a town outside of Needham. Both of these kids were incredibly grounded. You talk to their college coaches. Both said neither would be fazed by the moment, and it was quite clear literally that neither one was early in this game. I mean, it was a pitcher's duel until the 4th, and then the big guy, I mean, it's often the big guy that dominates. He dominated, and he's even bigger on the mound. And in New York, where it's hard to be a legend, he's established himself here real early.
David, how does a performance such as this change the way the room sees him moving forward in the most important games that they will be playing?
Aaron Boone said before the game, Scott, that he trusts Cam Schlittler just about as much as anybody. And that's saying a lot. You got Max Fried as your #1 guy. You get the feeling now you have the option. You can split up the 2 lefties, Fried and Rodon, as you move forward into the postseason. You have no problem sliding this guy in the 2-hole right now. Right behind Max Fried. He was that good. No nerves at all. Just completely dominant with his fastball. 2-seam, 4-seam all night long.
Scotty, I tell you who didn't like what they saw tonight? The Blue Jays.
Right, because now you're going to see him, and he's cooking with confidence.
Right.
And Eduardo, I want to kind of piggyback on that, and please dismiss this if it sounds ridiculous. But look, the Yankees aren't in the business of winning World Card Series. We know that. But they're also not in the business of losing a wild card series to Boston. And so surviving them in this fashion, does that allow them to a degree to exhale and now, not loosey-goosey, hell, you want to win a World Series, but does it free them up to a degree moving forward?
Absolutely it does. Look, you lose the first game to the Red Sox, and now and you lose with Max Fried on the mound. I think that's huge. Rodon gave them an opportunity yesterday. The bullpen allowed them to stay in the game for tonight. And then you get the performance that you get. Absolutely. Look, we saw the Dodgers playing the wild card as well. They took care of the Cincinnati Reds. You look at the same thing here with the Yankees at home, holding serve. Now they go to Toronto, a place that they've played a lot in their division again, and see what they can do. Most likely it'll be Hill on the mound. Maybe not. Maybe it'll be Warren. But the one thing they're going to do tonight is celebrate. Tomorrow they get on that plane and then be able to perform again. They're not going to put their guard down just because they beat the Red Sox here. This is one step, and Booney told us this is probably the best team he's had and managed in the 8 years he's been here.
This is for anybody that wants to weigh in. I mentioned it in the highlight. I don't know if it's sacrilege to invoke Jeter's name, sprinting towards, the guardrail and flipping over and coming up bloody. But that McMahon catch, just a playoff game as well. I mean, you're talking about an all-timer. What was your guys' reaction in real time to that moment?
As soon as he went for it, he was going to get that ball. He took off immediately, and it was full speed ahead. And he knew where he was. He braced himself well. And this is why he was brought in. He was brought in for his elite defense, made the play, and left that dugout in a hurry before anybody else could tend to him.
Yeah, no, it's not sacrilege at all. I invoked Charlie Hayes' name. But I was stunned by the determination he had. To Eduardo's point, he was not going to be denied. I mean, he was going to get a glove on that ball in a 4-0 game that late in the game. You could see others kind of slow tapping over there. He was going for that 100%.
He was not going to get any help with that Red Sox dugout either. No. He was on his own. The only thing missing, Scott, was a little blood coming out like Jeter had over his eye.
Exactly. And hey, after he flipped, I was thinking, if he comes up with blood on the cheek, I'm not even going to believe it. I'm going to feel like we're living in the Matrix. But And listen, the Schlittler performance, that catch, and the two teams that are involved, there's just something about this time of year, especially with those two teams. Always fun to listen to you guys on the call, and even better to get a chance to talk to you guys. Look forward to visiting again soon, okay?
All right, Scott. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, man.